everyone, we have arrived in the Lake District National Park. It's just gone 10 o'clock in the morning in a little village called Kettlewell, which is just the other side of Skipton, and in the Wharfdale Valley. And I'm sitting in the car doing the intro because the weather's a bit rubbish outside. It's raining and it's grey, but hey ho, take good with the bad. I've got a day off work today, so I decided I wanted to get out, make the most of it. And it'll be good practice to just have some rain training anyway, so I'm pretty much going to have to put my waterproofs on as soon as I get out of the car. But today we are doing a hike called Great Whernside. It's about 700 metres up, which is around 2,300 feet. Sort of Kinder Scout worthy. If you're down in Sheffield and you ever watch Paul Messner on his YouTube channel, it's a very good watch. And if you've ever watched Dave on the solo summit here, it's got a little bit of altitude, I think it would be fair to say. Also another good YouTube channel to watch, I'd recommend that as well. Great Whernside here in the Wharfdale Valley is one of the 3 Whernsides in the Yorkshire Dales. Great Whernside and Little Whernside are here, and not to be confused with the slightly more famous just Whernside in Horton in Ribblesdale, which is part of the Yorkshire Three Peaks. It's a tiny bit higher, that one. It's 2,300, 2,400 metres, feet, sorry. But this is not to be sniffed at. So anyway, I'll stop waffling and we'll get cracking. I'll get my waterproofs on and I'll see how we get on with the filming. I'll do as best as I can, but it is forecast to rain pretty much all day. It's about 6 degrees at the moment. I don't think it's going to get a lot better really, but we'll make the best of it. Let's get cracking and I'll see you on the route. Hi, okay, got my sticks out. We're starting to go uphill. It is pretty much a uphill across the top and downhill today. I wanted a bit of steep training just to work off all the food I'd eaten at the weekend. It's actually, the rain's eased off a little bit, thankfully. It's just a little bit of light drizzle now. We've just come past Howgill Beck and we're going up to top of Great Whernside past area called Hag's Dyke. Sounds horrible, doesn't it? But we'll see what it's like so far. There's very few people about. It was a bit tricksy getting through the village of Kettlewell. Really pretty village, lots of different routes that you can get through. Just basically head towards the river or head towards the beck, Howgill Beck, get across it. I'll just pan around so you can see. I'm already a little bit out of puff because I'm a bit out of condition, to be honest. It's warmed up a bit, obviously going uphill. So now it's just a very simple case of following the pathway up this moorland, up to the top. It's looking very cloudy at the top, might not be able to see anything, but we'll stay positive. So yeah, push on. See what we see when we get to the top. Bilgek. I got that wrong. Sorry, Dalvergilbeck. I'll just turn it around so you can see it, although it's a wee bit misty. Yeah, beautiful view. And there's that valley there with a windy little beck going all the way back to the way that we came. So we are heading up here, this path ahead of us, up to the tops. There's a few kites about, I can hear them, maybe kites or buzzards flying around. A few sheep, but not a lot, to be honest. I'm pretty solitary at the moment. No other walkers about. I saw one dog walker come out when I did. But I've got my hood up now, just hunkering down, and follow this pathway up to the top. That was a really narrow stile, double gated stile that I just came through back there. You may or may not be able to see it just through the cloud. I'm wearing a pretty wide rucksack today. I've got my old Berghaus rucksack, but if you were any chunkier than me, I think you might struggle to get through there. You might have to take your rucksack off. So it just goes to show the huge variation of landscape and obstacles that you have to traverse while on the way up here. Okay, let's move on. Moorland casualty. Hi, okay, we've just reached Hag Dyke, and I actually wasn't expecting this, but there's a house. It's like a big farmhouse, maybe it's a hostel. So yeah, we're going to proceed through the gate now, up to the summit of Whernside. So we're kind of 2/3 of the way there now. We're proper in the cloud now. There's very little that you can see, and the rain's just steady, just annoying. So I've got all my waterproof, so I've got a nice warm gloves on. Thankfully, we bought some new waterproof gloves yesterday, so we needed them today. Yeah, we're going to pop through the gate and carry on up. See you soon. I've made it down to a little area called Bleak Dyke Hole, which is about halfway down, maybe a third of the way down. I can't keep my gloves off for long. I just had to swap the battery over because the battery was dead. On the way back down, thankfully on the way up the wind was at my back. On the way back down the wind's now turned into my face and it's absolutely hammering me, the wind and the rain. And I just want to get down, just make my way down safely off this steep bit and get out of the cloud. Haven't eaten anything yet just because I think it's safer to just progress on really carefully. I'm going to have to put the camera away because I need all my hands for this bit, so sadly no nice views, can't see anything anyway. I'll turn it around so you can see. There's a little stile, big dipole stile that I just come over and I just tucked away behind the wall. But the wind's whistling, it's coming across me. I'm having to just really knuckle down and take it easy just so the wind doesn't batter me too much. So I'll see you at the bottom, guys. Okay, I've managed to get back down onto the road. This is the little mountain pass. Just poke down here behind a few rocks just by the side of the road. This was my original escape route, and I think I've decided in view of the weather today that I am going to just play it safe and just follow the road. This road goes all the way back down to Kettlewell. And I'm still shrouded in fog, as you can see, and the rain's still coming down, although it's not horribly hard, it's just nasty drizzle. But I've had to orient my way through a huge amount of bog on the way back, which was never ending, and I just had to just be really careful, take it steady, stay on the same bearing, keep checking the map all the way through, and I managed to make it back safely. The rest of the pathway was actually pretty clear, even though the weather's awful and you can't see much. So I've had a huge amount of bog on the way up. We went through the same sort of amount of bog on the way up and a huge expanse of bog on the way back. We still managed to stay dry, thankfully, so I'm just going to grab a hot chocolate because I'm starting to get cold, put an extra layer on, and then I'm just going to take this road back to the car. I'm just going to pan around so that you can see it. There's a gateway, the cattle grid there. That's the way back to Kettlewell. That's going back off to through the mountain pass there, but as you can see, yeah, the weather's pretty awful. I would strongly recommend getting one of these for your phones. My partner nearly destroyed his iPhone. Giles nearly destroyed his iPhone by having it in his pocket, and it's got really bad condensation, so he spent like a fiver, tenner, and got some of these waterproof covers. I've had it on all day and there's been no problem at all. I've been able to use the phone. The plastic substance allows you, it's touch screen, so it allows you to use the phone and stuff. So highly recommend that. I'm going to get the gloves back on, get a little flapjack or something in me, get some hot chocolate, and then make it back down to the car. Okay, so I'll speak to you soon. I'm just coming down this really steep hill behind me, 25% gradient, and I'm coming down this double bend, and I look over this wall and I realise how much more road I have to walk. I'm just going to turn it around so you can see. So there's a bit of a zigzag around this corner. And then I go down the hill. At least I have the babbling brook to keep me company, I suppose, but I've got all that road to walk yet before I get back to Kettlewell. Thought I was doing really well. Oh well, best get on with it, eh? See you in a bit. Back at the car now, the warm and dry, had something to eat. Coronation chicken and lettuce sandwich, very nice, thank you very much. It's just gone 4 o'clock, it's still raining, it's very dark. Just going to turn the engine off a little bit just so that you can hear me before we steam up. Have a little mini review. Okay, so supposedly 6 miles was actually 8.9 miles, according to the stats. It took about 5 hours. And originally I thought that was pretty slow because I thought it was 6 miles, but actually if it's 9 miles, I guess that's not too bad really considering the weather. I think the most difficult thing in the wet weather, particularly when you're ascending, is to, as much as you want to rush it, try and slow down and walk quite slowly, because you're battling sweat. And as many experienced hikers know, that the last thing you really need when it's cold and wet is to get sweaty, because as soon as you stop, it's okay all the time you're walking because you're warm, but as soon as you stop you get really, really cold. So I was fighting that a little bit. I did get a little bit sweaty on the way up, but I've only just put my down jacket on now, mainly because I'm sitting in the car not really doing very much, and I'm getting cold quite quickly. I only really had a thin layer t-shirt on, then a mid layer, a thin mid layer, and my waterproof coat, and that went really, really well. So thumbs up for mountain equipment coat. My gloves did get slightly wet, but I think it's because I tucked them outside my coat. Big thumbs up for Spigen waterproof. Phone carrier, kept my phone perfectly dry despite the nasty rain and wind all day long. And then review of the walk. I think I'd like to come back and do it in the summer. Really nice moorland walk uphill in the first section, looking down into the valley where the little brook was. That was really pretty. Nasty, tricksy little boggy bit on the way up and on the way down, with some rocky pathway as well, tiny little bit of scrambling down a bit of a riverbed, but nothing dangerous, nothing really scary. Just take your time really. I enjoyed every minute of that despite the horrible weather. Would I do it in the wet and the rain again? No, avoid it. Go somewhere else. Did I have fun? Yeah, of course, because we're mad hikers. But yeah, I think I'd wait until the summer, come back in the summer and do it again then. So, you know, look out for this posting on YouTube hopefully, and if I'm clever enough, I'll figure out how to put the route on there for you as well. Shame I didn't do the whole route, but I have to play it safe. Use my exit route to full advantage. It was actually quite pretty on the way down. It was a long old walk back along that road though, but safely back at the cart, ready for another adventure, another day. See you again, guys.